Hi everyone, I'm back. It's time for our last two awards. Christian Barrow. Christian, time to sit down. Yeah, I know, I saw him. I was just being nice to you, Jolene, because you don't usually come, and I want you to come back. Okay, so we have two more awards that are very special awards. One of them to somebody whose name has already come up in numerous times tonight, but I would like to invite Dr. Alan Eves from Stem Cell Technologies to come up to present the Don Ricks Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you so much, Alan.
It's a great pleasure to be here tonight and to think about all this good stuff that's going on here. But you know, Stem Cells just wants to participate in it, and as some of you know, we're just the company that provides the picks and shovels for the cell therapy gold rush. But I don't want to dwell on that. I want to dwell on the fact that something has been going on over the years in Victoria. Something interesting over there. And I think what we're really going to do tonight is celebrate that. And so this award is presented to an exceptional senior leader in celebration of outstanding lifelong career in the life sciences. Recipients of this award have showcased a lasting positive influence on the sector, distinguishing themselves from their peers. They have exhibited robust leadership, served as an inspiration to others, guided newcomers to the life sciences, and triumphed over challenges that they faced. This year's winner of the Don Ricks Lifetime Achievement Award is Dr. Richard Glickman from Victoria. Richard is a BC-based medical entrepreneur who co-founded numerous global biotech companies which have successfully developed and approved innovative medicines. He has recruited and developed significant leadership and talent to the BC ecosystem and served this community through a number of leadership roles where he has impacted policies that support growth and maturation of our industry. Please enjoy this video that highlights Dr. Glickman's outstanding career and, most importantly, his why.
So I was living in Toronto and working there. You know, my heart was really here in the West. I'd lived out here previously and I wanted to get back to the West. So we made a decision to leave Toronto and we moved out West. And I joined a small company here in Victoria. It turned out that they hadn't really been honest with their balance sheet and they actually couldn't afford me and they couldn't afford my move. But I joined this little company, I stayed around for a couple months, and the investors in that company approached me and asked if I'd take over as CEO, and I said, no, this thing can't be fixed. This thing's too broken. But they'd invested in QLT, and they had 100 times return on their money in the QLT. And so they said, like, we like the sector. So they like biotech. They offered to finance a program for me, and I said I'd write a business plan. And it was Friday. And I said, when would you like that business plan? My big mistake. And they said, like, Monday? So I wrote the business plan for StressGen on the weekend, handed it on Monday, financed it on Tuesday, and launched our company then. That was how I started actually here in British Columbia. And since then, of course, we've had Aurinia and Espriva and ESSA and a few others. It's been a lot of fun. And this is an extraordinary community here on the West Coast. It's a community where our peers actually celebrate our successes, and they also support you in your failures, because in this industry you have both. So my reaction to winning this award was actually mixed. At first, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm getting old. This particular award is so meaningful to me. It actually warms my heart that I'm receiving it. You know, Don was a very dear friend and an incredible supporter of work. He actually invested in just about every company I built. And he did so for many people in this province, so we have a lot to be thankful for him. And it's important that we remember because he's been gone for a while. And so taking a few moments and understanding the impact on his community is really important. It's important for me as well. So I was asked about mentorship, and there's a few people I'd like to acknowledge in our community and a few internationally. People like Bill Hunter, like Julia Levy, like Hector Mackay-Dunn, and Noel Hall. All of them actually made contributions both to science, but maybe more importantly, they made contributions that really mattered to patients. And I think that's why I've learned so much from them. And for those who really made a difference to me from outside of BC, it's people like George Rathman, who built Amgen. He's one of the busiest people in the world, but he always made time for me, and it really meant a lot to me because now when I mentor people, I find the time and make the time for them. And then there was, Steve Burrell, before he became a convicted felon, which seems to be the rage these days. But he was incredible at networking and actually really introduced me to a number of really key players in the US that helped make my career successful. And I was asked to provide some wisdom tonight, and maybe the best way to do that is through a very short story. I was attending a lupus gala in Washington, D.C., and when this lady walked across the room, hand in hand with about 11-year-old girl, came and said hello, and she said, "Hello, Dr. Glickman, I'd like you to meet my daughter." Then she introduced her daughter, said, "Honey, I'd like you to meet the man that gave your life back to you." And I got to tell you, that was the most important moment in my career. It's really why we do what we do, and that brought it home more than anything else could.
Please join me in welcoming Richard to the stage to give us another version of his story, I think.
Well, thank you very much, Alan. Just what an amazing community we share. It's kind of cool up here. I can't even see you guys. I'm sure you're out there. They gave me a couple rules on how to give this talk, and of course I'm going to break them because anyone who knows me knows I never follow anyone else's rules. First I want to thank, you see I'm not supposed to turn away from the mic, but I'm going to. You guys have done an incredible job. Thank you so much. And thank your team here, the whole team at Life Sciences BC for the event, because it's so well done, and it's such a lovely time to celebrate our community together. Ali, as chair, you're extraordinary as well. You've done so much for this community. Simon, thank you for nominating me for this. When he called me, he says, "I'm nominated, but they're never going to give it to you because you've won too many awards." I said, "Why not? I'm old. It's time, man." And yeah, I do want to congratulate the colleagues that have been honored tonight because they're so deserving. Aspect, which is coming next. That's not a spoiler, is it? Argorex, Chinook, UBC School of Biomedical Engineering, Robert, who's not here tonight, Raymond, who was very eloquent, and particularly to Joe Garcia. Joe, that was unbelievable and very inspiring, and you've done so much for this community, and you so deserve that award. And congratulations again. Now, I noticed that Michael Hayden was left off of that little video. I don't know exactly how it happened, but maybe one of those retakes I made them do, and Michael disappeared. Michael's not here because he's in Europe. He sent me a note last night apologizing. So no one tell him he wasn't in the video, okay? All right, let's keep that a secret. But I did want to acknowledge him. He's been an extraordinary friend, a mentor. We've built a number of things together, worked together for years. I don't know anybody I've met who is able to catalyze activity around them like Michael does. The video covered much of what I say, so my comments are actually quite short tonight, which is unusual for me. I want to take a few moments and take a few very special thank yous and recognize those that have made have made my career possible and who've directly contributed to our shared successes. But first I got to tell you a little story. Years ago I got a call, my IR team got a call that I guess he was the minister or the premier, Gordon Campbell, that's who it was, wanted me to come and speak at a dinner and wanted me to talk about what we could do to make our province more entrepreneurial. And so I had this whole program from K2, and it goes all the way through as you indoctrinate your children, become entrepreneurial, and it goes through their entire life, all the way to universities and postdoc education and everything. And I had this vision, I was going to have this conversation with them, with a sober Gordon Campbell cutting a turkey. And And then I turned up at this dinner, and there were literally 1,000 napkins hanging. There was a huge, and I hadn't realized I'd been invited to speak at a fundraiser for him. And I was just actually interested in talking about what we could do. And I gave this talk, and he was standing up there, and everyone was frothing at the mouth, and they were foaming. And I got up there to give my talk, and I looked around the room, and I said, "You folks really need me badly tonight." I said, "Why?" "Because I'm the guy who's going to allow you to get some sleep tonight." And the reason I agreed to do the talk was I really, really care. So he wanted to understand a little bit more about me and what drove me. And I said, look, I want a province where our kids can prosper, where our kids can live, where they could stay. They don't have to leave. I have 6 kids. I don't want them going anywhere. So I'm very motivated by helping build a healthy industry and opportunity and growth for our children, for all our children. So tonight, my few remarks are really focused on family. I've had plenty of opportunity in my career to talk about the businesses and everything else we've done, but not so much about family. So first, my spouse, my life partner, my work partner, Michelle, who's here with us tonight. So Michelle was a chartered accountant by training. I met her as an auditor when she was with Deloitte & Touche. And that was before she transitioned to various financial roles in biotech. She helped actually write and execute almost all of our business plans. She served as our chief financial officer and was directly involved in the growth of each of our ventures. Many of our top-tier U.S. investors have often commented to me that Michelle produced the most accurate financial models they've ever seen in the industry. Most of our lawyers and accountants were terrified of her. Like Hector the Protector would know that, right? He would remember. But it was just her depth of knowledge and her attention to detail that was extraordinary. More importantly, she understood the importance of the work we're doing and readily made the sacrifices that are so requisite in what we do. Michelle, without you and your direct contribution to these ventures, I would not be standing up here tonight, and many of the patients would not be benefiting from the medicines we successfully developed together. I love you, and thank you. I can't see you, but I know you're there. Now, as many of you know, our spouses make sacrifices to allow us to do what we do, but in most cases, it's a joint decision. However, there are others in our lives that don't get an active say in such activities, namely our children. The missed birthdays, the sports events, the school events, the drama events, my absence was all too common whilst they were growing up. And I'm sure most of you in this room can relate. Now, I have 6 amazing children whom I take great pride in. They've grown into such very kind, caring adults. And 5 of the 6 are here with us tonight. Which is why Wendy needed a larger venue. So I also have 1 granddaughter here with us tonight as well. All right. So I wanted to thank my children and for all the sacrifices they made as they were growing up, because I really was absent more than I should have been. And I want to highlight that those sacrifices really have resulted in very positive differences in the world and maybe even saved a few lives. And so I love you guys, and I really appreciate you for what you've done, because you've given me the opportunity to have this career and to be standing up here tonight in a community that I so love. So I want to thank you for all the kind words I've received and the warmth. I really do believe we are the lucky ones. We live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. We get to work on what we love to do. And we're part of the most unique and vibrant biotech communities in North America, if not the world. And people have asked me, what makes BC so special? Well, it's because of each and every one of you. It's that steadfast commitment you have to the community, but also to each other and supporting each other the way you do. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of the old Wild West in us as well that makes us so different and so special. Thank you very much. That's it.
We invited Richard's support team to come and be part of the photo. Congratulations, Richard. Thank you, Dr. Eves and Stem Cell Technologies for supporting the award.